Hey you guys, so here we are on Google SketchUp, and today we're going to be drawing a van. So first what we want to do is we want to orbit on our screen until we're looking down the green line here. So we can see down the green line and the blue and red look just like this. And the first tool we're going to start with today is in the tools menu, and it's called the protractor. So what the protractor lets us do is it allows us to pick a point. So I'm going to click here, and I've picked my point, and now I'm going to pick another point along the red line here. So what the protractor lets us do is choose a set angle that we want to create a construction line at. If you remember from the last video, you had practice with creating construction lines using the tape measure tool, but now we're going to use the protractor tool to create a construction line at a set angle. In this case, if you look at the bottom right of my screen over here, you'll see the angle number changing as I move up and down. What we want to do is type 45 degrees on the keyboard and then enter. And as you can see, we just created a construction line here at 45 degrees. So next what we want to do is go over here to our pencil tool, and we want to click at the intersection here and drag up our construction line just like this, and then we're going to type 24 to make the line 24 inches long, and then press enter. As you can see in the bottom right of the screen, it did just show 24 down here right after I did that. And next what we want to do is use the line tool again. We're going to click here at the end of the first line we just made, go up, make sure the line is blue as you drag upwards. We're going to make another 24-inch long line, so type 24 and then enter. Okay, and now what we want to do is go back to tools and get our protractor back again. What we're going to do is we're going to make another 45-degree line here. So we're going to click at the end of that line we just made, drag to the right until we can see the red, so we're on the red axis as you can see, click, and then start moving your cursor upwards. You can see the angles changing in the bottom right side of the screen as I'm doing this. We want again 45 degrees, so I'm typing 45 and then pressing enter. So there's our construction line there, created at another 45-degree angle. So now we're going to go back to our line tool and draw a line from here all the way up to here. Alright, so now we're going to press escape on the keyboard to stop the line from going like that. So now what we want is to create the bottom of our van. So we're going to click here and draw a line along this red axis line here. We're going to type 100 on the keyboard for 100 inches and then press enter. So there's that line. Now we're going to press escape to make the line thing go away. We're going to go back and grab our protractor again, because we're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on this side, just in the opposite direction. So we're going to find the end of our line, the end point, drag out along the red axis, click one more time, drag upwards, type 45 on the keyboard, and then enter. So there's that. We're going to go back to our line tool, do the same thing we did last time, continue from this line up. We're going to type 24 inches, which is exactly 2 feet, press enter. We're going to continue this line up. It should be showing blue because it's lining up with the blue axis here. So as you drag the line up, it becomes blue. That's what you want. You want to type 24 again and then enter. Then we need our protractor back up here, tools, protractor. Find the end of the line you just made, go out in the red direction, click again, 45 degrees, type it on the keyboard, press enter. There's our 45-degree construction line. Now we want to go back to our pencil here and draw another, drag it out, 24, type in, enter, 24-inch line. And now what we want to do with our pencil tool is just come over here and connect these two. So click, connect, and now you can see we have a solid, so it fills in white. So that's exactly what we wanted there. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to use our orbit tool so we can get a better look on the top of the, towards the top of the van here. And now we're going to use our push-pull tool. And what we're going to do is click and start dragging it out, and then we're going to type 60 on the keyboard for 60 inches, then press enter. So that just gave our van some body using the push-pull tool. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is using our tape measure up here. And if you remember from last lesson, we want to see the plus to the top left of our little tape measure tool. If you don't, press the control button on the keyboard until you do see it. That's the bottom left button on the keyboard. You want to make sure that it has the plus, because this is our construction line making tool. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to click on the bottom here, start dragging upwards, and move our cursor to the left until we see this little blue circle in the midpoint of this line here. If you notice, as you get towards the middle, it turns blue, and we want to click right there. So we just created a construction line. And then what we want to do is click here, drag out that direction, type 30 on the keyboard for 30 inches, then press enter. We want to go to this side, do the same thing inwards here, 30 inches, and then enter. Then we want to create another construction line near this one we just did. We want to type 36 and then enter. We're going to want another construction line here and then enter. Okay, now let's go over to the other side, and we want to do the same thing but symmetrical. So we're going to call this the front of the car, so we want to make sure on this side this remains to be the front of the car. So we're going to orbit over to the other side. As you can see, the lady's kind of in the way, so what we want to do with her is click this arrow up here, the select tool, click her, and then press the delete button on the keyboard. Alright, so now that we got rid of her, we want to grab our tape measure tool again, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the other side. We're going to start at the bottom just like we did there, click upwards, wait until we see the blue midpoint thing, click. That's what we wanted for our first construction line. We're going to do a 30-inch one here. We're going to do a 30-inch one in from this side. And then from the front of our truck or van, we're going to do another 36 from here, and then another 36 from the top. Alright, so now that we've got those in, what we're going to do is we're going to make our wheels. We're going to put some wheels on our van. So we're going to come up here to the circle tool, and we're going to click at the intersection of these two lines, and we're going to drag out. We're going to type 12 on the keyboard for 12 inches radius of our circle, and press enter. The first one, not the further back one, is going to be our wheel up here, so we're going to click, drag out again, type 12 for radius, and then enter. Let's orbit over to the other side of the truck so we can add wheels while we have our circle tool out on the other side. So we're going to click 12, enter, click, drag out, 12, enter. Okay, so if I get a better view of the bottom of this wheel here, as you can see, there's a line. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of that line. So we're going to come up here to our eraser tool and erase these little lines here. I'm going to zoom out, go back to the other side, do the same thing while we're thinking about it. Erase that bottom line there, and then erase this bottom line here. It still appears that there's a line there. If you notice, it's the red axis line though, so it's not a line that we have to worry about. The red axis line we cannot delete. We did do what we wanted on this side. We deleted the two lines. So that's what we wanted to have happen. What we're going to do is we're going to give the van a door. So that's what we drew this construction line and this construction line on both sides for. So we're going to come up to the line tool, and we're going to come here, start at the intersection, go down here to this intersection, and then make another line to this intersection. So now while we have our pencil out, let's go to the other side, do the same thing, line there, to line there, to line there. And remember, I didn't use this forward line which was used for the wheel, I used the line which was further back. Okay, so we're going to come up here and grab what's called the offset tool. And what this does is it's going to create a shape that's the same shape as the outer edges here, just not all the way to the edge. So we want to click in the middle, drag out a little bit, type 2 for 2-inch edge spacing, and then press enter on the keyboard. So as you can see, that gave us an offset from the outer edge of 2 inches here. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. We want to use our offset tool and type 2 inches and then enter. There's our nice offset. Okay, now while we have the offset tool out, what we want to do is come over here to the windshield area. We want to do the same thing. Let's 2 inches, enter. Now let's orbit over to the very back windshield at the back of the van. Do the same thing. 2, enter. Okay, so now that we have that done, what we want to do is we want to take our push-pull tool here, and we want to click on one of the wheels and start dragging it out. Type 5 on the keyboard for 5 inches outwards, and then press enter. Click here, do the same thing, 5, enter. Skip over to the other side while we have our tool out. It's always good to do all of the same things with the same tool at the same time. Makes your drawing more efficient. 5, enter, and 5, enter. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and grab the hand tool real quick, just so I can scoot so you can see a little bit better. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our tape measure tool again. I forgot to draw a construction line, so we're going to draw another construction line using the tape measure tool. Again, make sure you have the plus by pressing Control. And we're going to come to the back edge of our van and we're going to drag forward and we're going to type 60 and then enter. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. Make sure you do it from the back and not from the front. So here's the back of our van now. All the way up, 60, enter. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our line tool and we're going to create the back door to the van. So I'm going to go from that top there to the intersection, over to here. There we go. Now over to the other side again. Same thing, from the top in, down to there, down to there. Okay, now same thing we did with this front window, we're going to use our offset tool again here. And we're going to type click in the middle, drag it out, type 2 on the keyboard, enter for a 2-inch offset on the edge here. Let's go back over to here. Same thing. 2, enter. There we go. Okay, so it's starting to look more like a van. Okay, so there's one last thing that I forgot to do. And that's going to be we're going to draw one more construction line. So we're going to come get our tape measure tool one last time. And we're going to, from the bottom of our inner edge of our window, we're going to click and then bring the tape measure tool over here so you can see it on this edge. Click right there. We're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Click from the bottom inner edge of the window up. Come over here to this intersection of lines here. Click. Alright, so we're going to take our line tool and we're going to draw off our window line. Click from there to there. And then click from here to there. So we've got 2 windows now. Same thing on the other side. One line from here to here. Click. And then another line from here to here. Okay, so now we're going to click our paint colors because we want to start coloring this thing in. And we're going to go to translucent on the menu. And then we're going to go to translucent glass tinted. And this gives a cool glass finish. So we're going to click on all our windows. There, here, here, and the last one on the back. To give our cool glass window look. Next, we're going to go to the colors, and we're going to select the black. We're going to make our tires black, so all 4 of those are going to be black. Then we want a nice dark gray for the wheels. That'll look cool. Okay, and for the actual body of the van, we can make it kind of like a Scooby-Doo van, kind of orangish and green. And how about this green? Yeah, this green looks nice. Don't forget to color the bottom panel there. What we want to do is we want to get rid of all these construction lines we drew. So instead of going along with the eraser and individually erasing each one of them, similar to the way we did it in the laptop, we want to go up here to edit and then delete guides for delete guide lines. So click that and all your guidelines will disappear all at once, and all you've got left is your Scooby-Doo van.